right, guys, well, let's see how all this unfolds as we toss it over to our casters, Wavepunk and Findable Carpet.
Thanks, Golden Boy. I am Wavepunk, joined here by my good friend, Findable Carpet, and we have a match of two well-known teams right off the bat here for week number 2.
It's exciting for us because we know that a lot of times with these qualifiers, sometimes it's teams we haven't heard of as much, but all 6 of these players I've seen play, they're all very, very talented. And like they made a comment, EU just runs so deep. Everyone is so neck and neck. I couldn't even tell you. Like, I know who to look out for, and then I start, I'm like, okay, so who's the player to look out for? All 6 of them.
Right. They're all very, very good. Like they were saying, these guys are tied in the power rankings right now. And while they're not at the top of the power rankings, the fact that they're that close means this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and Gibbs made a comment. JJJ is the kind of guy I think he's going to be the potential the flariest one. He's very fancy, very mechanically sound. He's been playing for quite a long time. So I think he's going to hopefully get a couple of cool montage goals in here. Maybe he can add them to his sweet weekly YouTube montages. But even on Frost, Flarky, Torek, Sebadom, these guys have been in the competitive scene for a long time. Flarky, I guess you can kind of, I think his closer.
We'll go with Flarky.
We'll go with Flarky.
Flark is strange. It's already a strange name, but Flark is a little bit less strange, so we'll go with that. I think JJJ squad, they've been around a little bit longer than the players on Frost, so they're maybe a little bit more of a household name, but Frost won the previous the most recent Gfinity tournament over in Europe, so these guys are hot right now. These two teams are really strong. Really excited to see how this matchup's going to go.
Either way, it's going to be a great first match of the day. I couldn't be more excited.
We'll be getting underway with JJJ squad in the orange, Frost in the blue. Right off the bat, JJJ squad is coming straight towards the goal. Sebadon going to be able to push that one out of goal. Krazak keeping it in the blue corner. Flarky up on the wall, setting it out. Tarek's hanging back for Frost right now. They're going to try and push this one out, see if they can convert this one onto some offense.
Fair amount of patience. We see players in Frost kind of sitting in net. We just saw 2 players patiently waiting. Only one went out, one stayed. So they don't want to give up any early goals because they don't really know exactly the kind of talent they're about to go up against.
Oh, what a shot there from Tarek. Sending that one in, or Sebadon sending that one in. It's the setup from Tarek's great play.
Wow, this redirect, this pass coming across the field. Sebadon sees his opportunity. He knows when there. He flips his car around, gets it with the top of his dominus to make sure that he gets the power on it, redirects it right in the net. What an incredible goal to happen in the first 30 seconds of this game.
That was an incredible, incredible shot. Frost really showing why they have made it this far. What another shot coming out from Ryuk, man. They are responding immediately, saying we can score quickly too, trying to put that point on the board. An amazing stop by these Frost players, keeping themselves up in this game. 4:19 to go, still only 1 point up for Frost. Here comes JJJ squad. Jazer going for a nice kind of flip thing, and interestingly enough, Jazer, known for driving the Batmobile, is driving an Octane today.
Sometimes you just got to do what you're strong with, and he might be more comfortable with the Batmobile. Maybe he's more consistent with another car, or it could just be personal preference. It's really hard to say why certain players pick certain cars.
Tarek's picking this one up, sending it towards the net. Jazer gets up to it, but doesn't get the touch, and there's another point for Frost.
I actually think he did get a touch, but it wasn't the one he wanted. Torx went to go put it in net. It looked like he was a little off target, and actually gets redirected by Jazer into his own net, which is really unfortunate. He tried to get up quick. Because the idea is you don't want to let it bounce off that backboard, or you're just going to give them an opportunity. But he just wasn't able to get up fast enough.
That is unfortunate there for Jazer, but Frost is very happy with the turn of events at the moment. 3:51 up by 2. Sebadon trying to push this out of his own corner. Tarek's back in goal as Ryu comes around the edge. He's not going to get there. The pinch is going to send it out to midfield. Sebadon's up for it and ready. He's going to try and dribble this one around. Jazer running some interference. Krazak keeps it out. Ryuk, last line of defense, hangs back in goal. Krazak's going to be able to volley this one out of the corner. Ryuk coming out of the corner is going to be able to be in the position to catch the pass, but he's going to get beat by all the Frost players, and they have a chance to put another one in there. Sebadon's touch is not going to quite set it up the way he was hoping for. The ball's going to stay in Jazer territory to see if they can push this one out. They need to get some points on the board.
They need to make sure that they score now. They've got 3 minutes left. Their rotations, I can tell they're getting more aggressive because they just actually had an open net. They almost let another goal sink in, but sometimes it's high risk, high reward at this point. They really need to start sinking in those shots to put Frost on the defensive mentality so they don't keep this aggression.
Yeah, JJJ has been playing a very tight rotation. It gives them a lot of aggression on offense, but it's left them weak on the defense when we've seen that already on the scoreboard. They're already down by 2. Ball in Frost territory, but they're not able to keep it there. Krazak trying to set this one up, see if he can get it out. Jazer going to put it back onto the wall. Ball dead at midfield. Flarky kind of gets it to a position and changes his mind, goes back down for it, leaves it there as Krazak gets the hit. That ball's on target. Tarek's backflips. Jazer couldn't put it in. What a save by Sebadon.
I can't believe Sebadon was actually able to come and sneak that in. Maybe he was yelling like, oh, I backflipped, and he wasn't actually able to get there in time. but he was rescued by his teammate, and now they're going to turn it into an offensive position.
Oh, the ball is in a dangerous spot in front of the goal. They're going to be able to push it away, but Sebanon keeping the pressure on, sends another one on net. JJJ puts it back into the corner. Another great shot by Flarkey. This pressure from Frost has been very, very strong. JJJ gets the dunk there, gets the second touch, but Tarx has hung him back, was able to get it. JJJ doing all the work by himself right now, really trying to dribble it around all these Frost players, kind of running the 1-2 offensive situation. We'll see if they're able to make it work. Ryuk goes for an interesting touch there, passes it down to Krasek, who leaves it for JJJ, who puts it back onto the wall. They're back on offense to see if they can get it past. They leave Flarkey all the space he needs, though. Saw JJJ kind of get loose, was not able to keep that pressure up. And boy, they are just really struggling to get any sort of real offensive drive going.
The bigger issue about a player like JJJ, who's maybe taking a little bit too much on and trying to be in the ball too much, is you can only have so much boost as a single player, which is why it's so much better to rotate. When all three players are working together, they're all picking up boost when they have downtime and stuff. But when one player is trying to do a little bit too much, he keeps running out of boost, maybe falls a little behind, and then when your team expects you to make a move, you can't do it.
1:30 left to go. Frost still up by 2. JJJ yet to get on the board. See if Flarkey tries to push this one out. Ryuk back passes to Krasik, pushes it out. He's going to be moving up with Flarkey, but the interference again from Frost going to interrupt that one. The ball still dangerously in an interesting position there. A good stop by this JJJ squad, keeping this lead from expanding. But Tarx keeping this pressure up. This has been all the Frost show at this point. They've been so strong keeping this ball in JJJ territory. Final minute. We need to see JZer and company get some action going. Tarx sends another one on net. He's not going to quite make it there. 50 seconds left. They try to push this one out. It's going to go down to the midfield. Here comes Krasik from the back. It's going to be moving into the blue corner. 45 seconds as Tarek picks it up in the corner. Just kind of kills it. Just lets the time, letting the clock expire. Really good play there from Tarek. Just playing heads up. Realize they don't need the points. They just need the game to end. Oh, there's the pressure from Ryuk. JJJ has an opportunity, but he's not going to challenge Flarkey for it. Flarkey's going to put it into the corner. JJJ pops it back out. Tarek comes from goal and is able to push it out. Final 30 seconds of gameplay. Flarkey has a run on the goal. Nobody's home. 3-0 for Frost.
Another situational goal. They had no choice. JJJ had to start pushing up. They had to be aggressive. But that means they got to be quick to that ball. You cannot hesitate. You almost you have to think and not think at the same time. As soon as you see an opportunity to go for a ball, you just have to go for it. That slight hesitation, especially when you're all hyper offensive to make sure you can get these, try and close that gap in the goals, that's when the silly goals like that happen.
20 seconds left. JJJ needs 3 just to force overtime. This would be an amazing comeback if they could pull it off. JJJ trying to press this one up. He's got a nice setup. Ryuk dead at midfield. Not really sure what he was doing there. I'm not sure he knew what he was doing either. This is the final countdown. As each second expires, the comeback becomes less and less likely, and I'm pretty sure this game at this point is going in favor of Frost.
Yeah, there's really no coming back from here. And JJJ, they have the skill for it. I mean, the times that they were all working together, it really was working out. But what I feel personally that they were kind of clumping up together. They weren't trusting each other as much. I saw several of them maybe dribble it a little bit too long and take a better touch away from a teammate, maybe an air dribble across the field. I think individually they're trying to push themselves a little bit too much to secure those goals, when really they just need to work as a team right now, because Crown is all over the place. They've got the wide rotations. Frost, apologies. They're getting in the way of a lot of. They're slowing the pace down a bit.
Sure.
So
yeah, no, they were playing a slightly wider rotation and really being strong in goal. 5 saves coming out for this Crown and Jewels squad. Decently even shots on both sides, only 5-7. Not really that big of a difference. We did see JJJ able to get on the offense. They were playing very tight and really able to create some pressure at moments, but they were never able to put it in the goal, and they would just leave themselves too wide open on the defense.
They just didn't make a lot of plays. I mean, when you really try and think about like any really close shots that happened on Frost side, there really weren't a lot. They didn't have a lot of shots to have to block that were even like Threatening.
Right.
And I know that JJJ can do it. I mean, they've gotten this far in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten all the way here.
Mm-hmm.
We know they've got the skill. I've seen all three of these individuals play.
Sure.
But I just think they need to work with each other a little bit too much. It
Mm-hmm.
could be the pressure, you know, and they are against a team like Frost. I mean, you look
Yes.
at these three names, and it's a little bit stressful. But, I mean, with the best of three, you got to make sure you get to your game quick.
Yeah, and I like the point you made in the middle of the last game where you were saying that JZer just, you know, he's going to run out of boost if he keeps on just trying to make it the one-man show. Really needs to allow his teammates to kind of step in and help him. See if they can step up some teamwork here in game number 2. Frost immediately on the offense again. See them pushing this up. Krasik giving Sebanon all the space he needs to take a shot. It's up to Ryuk right now, who gets a kind of sloppy touch out to the mid. Tarx is able to set this off the backboard to see if anyone's there for the follow-up. They're giving the ball so much space. Sebanon keeping it in the corner. Jays are going to leave it out for Krasik, but Krasik hangs back and doesn't know what to do. I'm not sure what is going on with JJJ right now.
They're just making necessary touches. Up here, Jaser tries to take it off the wall and hit it, and he actually doesn't even make it. At that point, maybe he should have just stayed and been a defensive player, and way too much. That goalie tried so hard to predict Flarkey's touch, but Flarkey was too far. Like, even if he had a really, really solid shot there was enough time for a player of this skill to react.
Yeah,
so his pre-jump was just a little too...
He let it so early there that, you know, he left Flarkey time to see, oh, he went up, I can shoot down, you know? And so it's not a good decision there. 4:30 left to go. Frost again up in this series. If they can win this one, they will move on. It'll be game over right now. I believe JJJ will be knocked down to loser's bracket. We see Ryuk up, and the ball is in the blue box, but no one really able to create the pressure they need. Ryuk whiffs. Krasic passes out. Flarkey responds immediately. Nice touch from Ryuk, keeping that away from Flarkey. See if he can dribble us around. He gets it over past one. JJJ and Ryuk up on the offense. Sebadon's up on the wall and is able to get the Spider-Man clear onto the corner. Tarix coming out of goal, going to try and push this one away. Nice touch by Flarkey to push that one all the way back into the orange.
Good notice by Flarkey. That clear out towards mid actually would have been risky if he hadn't noticed that there was no one on JJJ there in that placement. He actually put it right back mid, where if anyone was there, he could have taken a shot.
Sure.
But reading the field is a big part of this skill level. You need to understand where your opponents are and where you can hit the ball. And good placement at any pivotal point in the game can turn the field in your favor.
Good clear there by Krasic, keeping that out of goal, keeping the lead from expanding. 3:32 left to go in the game, still 1-0 in favor of Frost. JJJ last line of defense. Flarkey makes a fool out of him and puts it in.
Flarkey had a lot of time for this. He gets the second jump, he lands, he has time to recover. I mean, very talented, but he uses the second jump, which slows him down. JJJ should have seen that Flarkey had actually used that second jump, which generally slows down your recovery, and he had all the time in the world to go for that. I think he hesitated a little too much. I talked about it earlier. Hesitation is going to kill you at a stage this late.
Flarkey has been shooting so well in this second game. Both of his shots going in. 3:22 left to go in this game. And Crown Jewels in a very similar spot than they were in the first game. JJJ has not figured out how to break this Frost defense at this point, and they have not figured out how to keep anything out of goal. Tarix has another shot on net. 3-0 for Frost.
Solidifying this goal, trying to make sure they move on to the next round. Frost just gets the breakaway. Again, I think JJJ, they knew they had to overcommit. They need to close this gap, and that's exactly what happened last game. If they're not really paying attention to that, they're actually just going to increase the gap. And it's happened yet again. They're down 3 goals.
See what they're able to do. So we move forward here. They need to create some semblance of offense. If they can just get some sort of siege going or something, that could be enough of a change in pace. If they can just keep the ball in Frost territory. But so far, Frost's midline defense has been so strong. That's about the first time the ball's hit the backboard. Ryuk's shot goes wide. Now Flarkey with ball control in the corner is going to pop it out. His teammates hanging back. They're playing safe. They know they've got a great lead right now. They just need to hold on to it. Approaching halftime here. JJJ has not even gotten on the board, and here's Frost striking again.
Where Frost is excelling that JJJ isn't is their positioning. They're always ready to be right behind the ball whenever it's touched by either an opponent or one of their teammates. But when you look at JJJ's positioning, when they hit the ball up, frequently there's no one there to follow up. Like right here, you actually saw that someone was there on the wall, they're ready to follow up, and now they're turning into an offensive opportunity. But here, no one was behind the ball. They weren't able to get it around. Thankfully, no one was contesting it, or they actually would have been a shot on goal.
Ball lofted at the very center of midfield. Sebadon and Tarix both up for that. Tarix's hit is good onto the backboard, but an interception from Krasic sends it into the corner. 2 minutes left. Flarkey taking a shot out to the midfield. No one there to finish it off. Ryuk going to keep it in the corner as JJJ and Krasic get set up in goal. Here comes JJJ out. Going alongside Ryuk. An interesting kind of fake there from Ryuk. Had an opportunity on the goal, but a great save from Flarkey keeping that one out. And they are still shutting this JJJ squad out, even with the ball right in front of their own net.
JJJ is doing their best. They're trying to put the shots on goal. They're actually it seems like they're working a little bit more together now. JJJ are trying to push it towards the mid. On defense, that's usually a bit risky, but if your teammates are ready for it, it can turn into something cool. And there's a great demo coming from Frost to try and just prevent them from taking any more shots.
Minute and a half left, down by 3. This is not an impossible comeback by any means. It's about a goal every 30 seconds. That leaves you plenty of time to work with. That ball set up really well. If someone can get up to this, there goes Krasic. He's not going to get the angle he was looking for. Sebadon able to send that one back out to midfield. Here's Ryuk. No one really home. That's a good shot. Is it going to fall? No. Tarix with the save. Great defense from this Crown Jewels team.
JJ's having a tough time putting themselves between the ball and their own net. The ball usually comes out to midfield, and they're coming from the sides to try and turn it back in, which it's been working in their favor, actually. I'm actually very impressed to see that they have the control to...
Oh, so close.
Very, very close.
They were not able to quite get the shot they were looking for. Final minute of gameplay. JJJ still has yet to get his team on the board. There's a setup. He's not going to get it there. They're playing aggressive. It's what they need right now. They have to score. At this point, more goals is not really going to hurt them. They just need to get points on the board. They're going for, I don't know, freestyle, looking for those montage moments. This is not the moment for that, dude. You need to get points on the board. 37 seconds left. The ball right in front of the goal. Sebadon gets the angle, makes it 4-0.
After seeing that freestyle from JJJ, it's looking like that they're just really conceding to Frost's good rotations.
Yeah.
I've talked a bit about what JJJ isn't doing, but what Frost is doing is kind of the exact opposite. they're putting themselves between the ball and their own net. So whenever it does get cleared, they're there. They're ready. They can counter it. They can push it back in. They're following each other's touches up nicely. You know, they have some moments where they haven't been there, but JJJ hasn't put themselves in places to capitalize.
30 seconds left in this game, but at this point it's almost over. That ball almost going in. That was about the closest thing to a shot we've seen from JJJ in a long time. There's another one, but a great save from Sebedon. Man, these guys in goal have been so strong. There, finally, Krasic breaks it. They're not going to get the full shutout in the series, even if they're going to still take the win.
We've seen a lot more pressure at JJJ this game than we did last game. They're actually putting on shots that these defenders have to go for. Looks like that goalie just kind of wasn't prepared. He is facing down the field as opposed to being parallel with the goal, which I think James touched on yesterday, is generally not what you want to do if you're going to have to react to a quick save.
18 seconds, 3 goals. Again, not impossible, but it'd be about the most amazing thing I've seen in the RLCS so far. Krasic sending that one up, trying to take the shot. Kind of gets almost blocked by his own teammate. Final countdown. JJJ passes it over. There's another follow-up. They're trying to just get the consolatory goal at this point. Sebedon's going to clear it away. Ball's going to touch the ground, and that's going to be the end of game number 2. Frost taking this one 2-0.
Frost took both these games pretty promisingly, which I didn't really expect. I thought there'd be a bit more of a fight coming out of JJJ, but it just seemed like they weren't as together. They weren't as glued. They weren't working as a team as much. I think they've got a really good shot in the loser bracket. I think they still have a really good shot just in general making it to group stages if they can start maybe communicating or just kind of paying attention to when they should stop possessing the ball.
9 shots from JJJ, 7 saves from Frost.
Wow, yeah.
Great defense from this team, really, and amazing offense as well. Very good and efficient. Really cool display of just all-around teamwork from this Frost team. We're going to be passing it back over to the analyst desk. Golden Boy, guys, tell us what you saw.
Thank you so much, Wave. And okay, so you both
this
clearly
is why
are terrible
I don't
at
predict
this.
Europe. Yeah. This is why.
I mean, JJJ squad looked like a team that could really, cause a little bit of noise, right? Make some noise, I should say, in the EU bracket, but not the case. Frost establishing why they were one of the top-ranked teams at a certain point in time, and really looking to continue that going. I mean, guys, just jump right into this here. One thing I want to say is that it was really good to see how Frost was continuing to attack the net in game 1. And let's actually take a look at some of the replays as I mentioned this real quick. But it was really cool to see Frost attack the net and just knock JJJ out of coordination. Like, they just could not regroup themselves every time Frost attacked them.
Oh yeah, game 1 was really just a Torx pass to Sebedon, and then after that there was an own goal by JJJ, and then a wide open net. But like at that point you have to do that because you have to attack.
It just felt like JJJ was not comfortable. They could not get into the flow. All the shots they were taking, there were hardly any quality shots, and you could see the defense there just not coming to play. Tried to predict the high shot, wasn't able to get it. Just JJJ could get nothing going. And Frost, they were playing solid. They made good saves. They were rotating well. They seemed to be a team that was comfortable, whereas JJJ, they were not. There were a lot of times where they went for the same ball. They were bumping each other.
It was
some of the
rough.
chaos in front of net. It was an ugly game for JJJ.
One thing I noticed, like game 1, I thought it was like a circus almost from JJJ. They would just go up for like an aerial dribble, but it wouldn't go anywhere. They would just touch it 5 times in the same spot, and then Frost would just wait underneath and wait till they could attack it. They were being very patient for those aerial dribbles, and there was no passes coming out from JJJ during those. It was just midfield aerial dribbles that led to nothing.
Yeah, something we see from the top European teams is those passing plays, being able to spread out. Just that game sense is really prominent in EU play styles, and we did not see that on display from JJJ.
Well, speaking of game sense, game 2, I want to mention 7 saves for Frost there, 9 shots that JJJ took. That was actually very impressive. I believe it was 9 shots for JJJ. Very impressive. The defense there certainly showing up, and I have to say, man, like, Frost just did not allow JJJ to have any kind of traction on the pitch. It just did not matter. They kept shutting them down nonstop.
Yeah, most of the shots from JJJ were from the midfield. So then they had a long time to read the angle and get the saves, and that was just because they were playing so well in that midfield role while JJJ was kind of slacking there.
Yeah, it's like what we saw with Selfless. You know, they have 20-something shots, but only 4 goals. Really, especially in Europe, defenses are really, really good. Like Weedham girls, it's so hard to score on them. You have to be creative to get the ball by the defense. And really, we did not see that from JJJ. Gibbs was right. We saw a lot of half-field dumps going towards the net that got dealt with. We did see some really good saves, especially the one from Tarix, but most of them were just not big threatening moves on the offensive side.
And do you think that was because of hesitation? I know that was something that Carpet alluded to quite a bit. He kept saying that JJJ, they hesitated to make those plays. They had an opportunity, they waited, and then they just couldn't quite go for it. And honestly, like, you know, not to John Madden it, but like, was that like the most obvious thing? They just were not sure when to attack. They were just not sure of themselves.
Yeah, they weren't figuring out like when to pass to a teammate. It seemed like they were trying to do some selfish plays, where like every ball was just shot on net when you could have went for the backboard shot. Because like a Carpet always says, you don't have to shoot on net every single time. Throw it off the backboard, then have a teammate fly in, and that's a much more, that's a harder shot to save.
Yes.
And
you
like
want to
said,
bait the goalie out of position, right? If
Exactly.
you give him a layup to get a huge clear, that's not as desirable as putting it. It doesn't even have to be on net, just in a spot where he has to come out to make the hit, and it's not going to be an easy bounce clear for him across the map. So yeah, and a lot of times hesitation, you see that when a team is just not comfortable. Because they're not comfortable, they're not sure if their teammate's going for it or if they should, and when you're late to the ball like that, you're always playing catch up. And that's what we saw from JJJ.
And, you know, just also to mention, when you talked about the midfield shots, right? I mean, a goalie's going to see that one from a mile away. So, or dare I say, half a mile. Right? I don't actually know how long. I don't know how long the track is.
A kilometer.
A kilometer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Half a kilometer away. Anyway, cringe aside.
That
Whatever, man. I tried. Okay. Look, I don't know the math.
It's early.
Okay? It's early, but you act like I know math. Okay. Like.
It seems like no one knows math.
No,
This is a problem.
Honestly,
We need to fix this.
as we looked for commentators, I said, I want guys who have zero mathematics skills.
And Brody was number one.
and Leaf Fix was the number one guy. Anyway, all right, guys. So when we come back, we're going to have plenty more EU Rocket League action here at the RLCS studio. Of course, congratulations to Frost as they move on to the next round. We'll see what JJJ squad can do in the losers bracket, but we will see you guys in just a few.